I'm David Ben Moshe, and I have with me Chaim Ben Pesach. We haven't done a show for a long time because I moved out west, where men are men and the women are glad of it. The West is clean for the most part. You have your bad areas. The air is clean. There's no garbage around, not human or otherwise, and everybody carries a gun. The gun store is the local hangout. It's always come in and chat anytime if you have the right political views. Well, I'm back for a visit, and the first thing I noticed when we got off the plane is there's hardly any... The people on the plane were white, but when we were walking around the monorail station that we had to take to go rent a car, and we're walking around the airport, very few people are white. There's Asians, there's Muslims. We saw quite a few in the chador or the burqa or the scarf. So we go to rent a car. We had to take the monorail, which was nice. And we're in there, and there's a Muslim in there wearing the kufi, the white little cap, looks like from a colonial woman. And he goes into the bathroom, and my wife is signaling to me he's going to set a bomb off with his belt, and I expected the walls to come blowing out any minute. But he didn't. And I'm online, and there's two Chinese ahead of me, two different people, not together. And there's a black man behind the counter. And he seems very nice. He speaks well. And he takes the first Chinese, and it takes 7-8 minutes to rent a car. He takes the second Chinese, and they start. And my wife is praying, oh, please let a white guy come in, because we didn't want to be there all night long. So just by luck, a white guy comes in. He's Polish with blonde hair, and he takes me. And this is long after the black guy took the Chinese guy. And we're finished in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes at the most. Meanwhile, the black guy's still going on with the Chinese guy. And, of course, on the way out, as we're going to get our car, I asked my wife, did you notice something about that? And I pointed it out to her, that the black guy, even though he's very nice, he was moving at like 1/3 speed or 1/4 speed. And I'm not going to say any more, but just what is the difference? We go to rent a car, and we're driving around, and there's litter all over, garbage all over. You know, I'm out of New York now for quite a few months. This really smacks you in the face. You look at the people, and you're not even sure they're people. You can't even find anybody that looks like you. You know, if you look like me, you can't find anybody that looks like you. And we go to some of the stores, and there's maybe one other white couple in there with us. And these are big stores, like a Target or a BJ's or a TJ Maxx. There's nothing but foreigners. There's nobody born in America, in New York City, hardly anybody. Everything is so expensive. Everything is so dirty. And we're supposed to be here for a few days, and we can't wait to get back. We can't wait to get out of here. Meanwhile, Mike Bloomberg, the mayor here, while we're flying here, is saying how wonderful it is they're putting up a mosque near the World Trade Center. I'm sure it is. In this city, the way it is, this city needs correcting. And drastic correction. So I'm going to ask Chaim what his solutions would be. Chaim?
Well, I don't think that there's going to be any solution here in New York City. I think that there has to be a national solution. And the only way there is going to be any national solution, the only way that there will ever be any correction or any hope for the future, not only of New York City, but for the future of the United States of America, is if there is the creation of a massive right-wing, righteous Gentile movement of tens of millions of righteous Gentiles in America who decide to take the United States back. Take the United States back from the news media. Take the United States back from the multinational corporate traders that are destroying this country. Take the United States back from the political hacks, opportunists, and frauds and crooks in Washington and at the local level who have destroyed any semblance of a normal society in this country. If people do not decide to form a mass movement to take the United States back, the United States is doomed. This is a country that 5 years ago would never have even thought of electing someone like Barack Hussein Osama to the presidency of the United States. It was unthinkable. In the 1980s, in the 1990s, a liberal white Democrat could never get elected president. They had to nominate Jimmy Carter in 1976 to run because he pretended he was a southern white moderate Democrat. Of course, he was also a leftist. He lied, and when they found out he was a leftist, he was defeated overwhelmingly when he ran for re-election. But they could not nominate a liberal white Democrat who would never get elected. The same thing happened with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton got elected because he was, again, perceived to be a southern white, middle-of-the-road Democrat, not some white leftist. When Democrats nominated people who were perceived to be liberals, white liberals, people like Walter Mondale or
Michael
Dukakis or John Kerry, they all lost. Or Al Gore, even Al Gore, who was supposedly from Tennessee, but he was perceived to be liberal. They all lost. You couldn't even get elected in this country if you were a white liberal. You couldn't get elected to the presidency. Now, they not only elected someone who's not, they didn't elect a white liberal, they elected a black Muslim. A black Muslim, Jew hater and white hater who has a history of hating America, hating Jews, hating whites, hating Israel, hating everything that's good and noble. And they put that thing in the White House with that other thing, his wife, as the First Lady. This is what they put in the White House. I mean, this is unbelievable with the extent to which this country has descended into complete decadence, without any moral compass, without any semblance of what America was once like.
Because the third worlders come with their third world their culture. They bring all the dirt with them. They bring the corruption and the socialism, the need for social programs. Hazeltine, Pennsylvania had very little expense, very little tax. The mayor there refused to raise taxes as the city was becoming more and more Hispanic, and they were screaming for services. Why is it during the 1950s, when this country ran on its own volition, what's the word? It ran on its own. Eisenhower was either on the golf course or in the hospital suffering from a heart attack. The country ran itself. We didn't have social programs. We didn't have social services. Now people come here screaming for services. People want programs. That's what you hear people like Mike the Kike Bloomberg say. People want services. No, we want reduced government. We want the state governments to be much smaller. We want the city governments to be much smaller. And most of all, we want the federal government to stick to the Constitution and just defend us, give us a currency. We don't need a Federal Reserve. Go back on the gold standard. And we want you to run a post office and make sure interstate commerce between states is kept regular and set tariffs. And that's your job and your only job.
Now listen very carefully. Listen very carefully. Because if this country does not wake up, and I don't believe the Tea Party movement is an awakening. I don't believe it's a serious right-wing movement. And the Republican Party is the same Republican Party that gave us George W. Bush and brought us the disasters that led to the election of Barack Hussein Osama in the first place. Nothing has changed. No one has learned any lessons. So listen very carefully. Because if America doesn't wake up, America is doomed. America is finished. America will become a third world cesspool. America is already well on the road to becoming a third world cesspool. 2/3 of American youth voted for Barack Hussein Osama in the last election. 2/3 of American youth voted for a Muslim for President of the United States. This is a country that is on the way down to self-destruction. And the only hope to turning this around, again, is to create a righteous, principled movement. And when I say principled, I mean based upon biblical principles, yes. Not with a specific religion, but based upon biblical principles in general. Because if it's a secular movement, we've seen that's first of all, it's unprincipled, and people change when they're secular. It has to be it has to be people who are God-fearing, who understand that the basis for America's greatness is belief in God, belief in the Bible, belief in biblical principles. If we don't get a real right-wing movement like this that is politically incorrect, and not afraid to be politically incorrect, and that tells the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the American people. If we don't get a movement like that established in the United States, America will descend and descend and descend, and this country won't be worth living in. It's as simple as that. America right now is on its way to becoming another Greece or another country that's facing default and bankruptcy. That's where America is headed. America is doing the same thing that Greece and these other countries that are in threat of bankruptcy are doing. The same exact thing. So we had better wake up fast. Help us. Join with us. We have got to build a movement that will fight to save America, Israel, and Western civilization. This is Chaim Ben Pesach from the Jewish Task Force with David Ben Moshe. Shalom.
Shalom.